Avenger was one of the first Earth Force ships deployed following the arrival of the Centauri on Earth in the mid-22nd century. At that time, fighters were generally carried externally and primarily used to hunt down raiders and patrol trade lanes. These small craft were not designed for long-range travel and would likely be destroyed if they attempted to enter hyperspace. Although the early Starfuries were capable of hyperspace travel, they lacked the range to reach distant colonies on their own. The rapid advancement of the Starfury program created a need for Earth Force to deploy its new fighters in combat. However, the Ares fighter was not designed for external mounting, and ships of that era did not have bays large enough to carry fighters in significant numbers. To address this issue, the Avenger class was developed. The early Avengers were simple, wedge-shaped crafts with a crew of 144, equipped with rows of hangars, each capable of deploying and recovering a fighter independently, totaling 48 fighters. While launching operations was straightforward, establishing recovery systems presented challenges. Pilots had to match speeds and maneuver into a small capture arm that would bring them on board. These early versions of Cobra bays were not pressurized, requiring pilots to wait as their fighters passed through an airlock into the ship's maintenance section. This made fighter operations slow, and landing during combat became a perilous task. Later versions of the Avenger addressed these issues by extending the hull and adding internal landing decks equipped with built-in rails that could slide fighters into position without requiring maintenance crew assistance. Although the Avenger excelled in its role, the ship had limited armament and generally avoided direct combat. Its typical strategy involved deploying fighters and maintaining a safe distance from the battle, retreating into hyperspace if circumstances became dire. Fighters were typically assigned an emergency rendezvous point, where the Avenger would later return for recovery operations. Normally, this worked well. However, if the enemy was nearby when the Avenger emerged, the results could be catastrophic. The Dilger, in particular, excelled at tracking and ambushing Avengers. As the Dilger resorted to suicide attacks in the final months of the war, Avengers were assigned to protect larger vessels like Novas and Hyperion. Admiral Hamato's task force included 3 of these carriers, one of which was tasked with defending his command ship, the Nova class, from Dilger attacks. During the battle for Omelos, the carrier's fighter groups were severely depleted by relentless assaults from suicide Dilger fighters and small patrol craft. When the fighter cover was lost, Dilger ships rammed Admiral Hamato's vessel, causing it to be destroyed. However, this achievement came at the cost of over 400 Thoron fighters and 27 dedicated suicide vessels, highlighting both the fanaticism of the Dilger pilots and the dedication of Earth Force flight crews. After the Dilger War, the Avenger fell out of favor, with Nova dreadnoughts often being used for carrier operations instead, as they proved to be tactically more effective. However, in peacetime, Avengers served as excellent fighter carriers, delivering entire squadrons to outposts and forward support positions along the frontier. After the Earth-Minbari War, a select group of Avengers was retained for this purpose, supporting the new Poseidon supercarrier, which is widely regarded as the ultimate carrier in the galaxy. The Avengers made a significant impact during the 2260s. The first notable event occurred in 2261 in the Proxima system, when 2 Avengers worked alongside the Omega destroyer Lysander to secure a crucial victory for Earth over the Army of Light, led by Captain John Sheridan. The second significant incident occurred in 2268 when the Drac attacked Earth. One of these vessels was in the system on a training mission when the mass sortie order was issued. While it primarily remained in the rear area, it helped collect orphaned fighters and rescue crews from damaged or destroyed ship. Although the Avenger class was officially retired in 2271, its legacy in history remains substantial and will never be forgotten. Earth has operated 3 models of the Avenger Carrier since its introduction. Alpha Model 2186 to 2212. Armed with 6 blast cannons and 6 Mark I interceptors, this was the original carrier design for the Starfury project. This ship operated individual landing pads for its fighters and played a key role in helping Earth win its first space battle against the Ch-Lonus at Beta 7. Beta Model 2203-2246. Armed with 3 medium plasma cannons, 4 light plasma cannons, and 8 Mark I interceptors, this variant was primarily used during the Dilger War. Its internal pressure bays allowed for faster and safer launching and recovery of fighters. Gamma Model 2240 present. Armed with 3 medium plasma cannons, 6 light pulse cannons, and 8 Mark I interceptors, this is the final production variant of the class. These ships served during both the Minbari and Earth Wars, as well as against the Drak.